Hello, and welcome back to another Law Story Time, and the first ever recorded. Minus the one that we did with me and Nona, and we couldn't really figure out the software, so it's really tiny in the box. I think I got it figured out now. It's just going to be me today, your boy Claw, and today we're going to do something not only different with the video. Instead of telling you about a story that I'm never going to try to publish, I'm going to read a story that I've written that I don't intend to publish. And this is from a short collection that I've been working on, and it's based on a very interesting idea, I think. I'll drink some wine here. So, the idea being that these are stories derived from songs, and they're derived by what the song says or the feeling you get from the song, but it can't be the story in the song. So if the song already has a story, like Taylor Swift's masterpiece Love Story, that already has a story. So this, you can't do it there. So it has to be a song where you take a story from the song parallel to the song. And so that's what I've done. The song we're going to talk about today is The Metro, originally by Berlin, but then covered by System of a Down, and played on the masterpiece of Not Another Teen Movie. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the song, lyrics, and then I'll read you the song. I was going to play this song, but I don't know how copyright works on these things, and I'd rather be not sued. So here we go. So the song is, I'm alone, sitting with my empty glass. My four walls follow me through my past. I was on a Paris train. I emerged in London rain, and you were there swimming through apologies. I remember searching for perfect words. I was hoping you might change your mind. I remember the soldier sleeping next to me, riding on the metro. Yeah, I'm trying not to sing, but I'm also trying to get the melody, and I'm not doing either one well. You were white, smiling as you took my hand, so removed. We spoke of wintertime in France, minutes passed with shallow words. Years have passed and still it hurt. I can see you now, smiling as I pulled away. I remember the letter wrinkled in my hand. I love you always filled my eyes. I remember the night we walked along the sign, riding on the metro. I remember a feeling coming over me. The soldier turned and he looked away. I remember hating you for loving me, riding on the metro. So that's the story. Berlin does it pretty poppy. System of a Down does it not poppy. Both good versions. I prefer the System of a Down. And so here is what I wrote. More wine. The air was heavy with the smell of gunpowder, destroyed brick, and an unfamiliar animal smell. That you shouldn't use smell twice. Also, I haven't edited this at all, so this is going to be the first time I've read it back, and I'm going to do it aloud while recording, and I'm nervous about that too. Oh, I don't have eyebrows. I know. The air was heavy with the smell of gunpowder, destroyed brick, and an unfamiliar animal smell. Most likely a mixture of fear and anger. That's that. So the animal smell was the fear and anger. We'd all gotten used to our lessons being interrupted by the barrage of enemy firepower determined to kill us. The reasons were lost on the students around me. They didn't care much for the reasons. We were huddled in the basement of the school. I'm going to fix this misspelling real quick. It doesn't even know how to fix that. So the students are all huddled in the basement of the school, and they don't really care why. Their concerns were more immediate. Oh, the students' concerns were more immediate than wondering why these people are trying to kill them. When the sirens go off, we go hide. We were the good guys, and those were the bad guys. Not me, though. I understood at a deeper level. There was a tyranny, and our country's leaders had had enough. Action was a necessity. Action was a necessity. The ever-growing enemy soldiers grew in numbers, even as both sides took terrible loss of life. We, the country, had tried to resist the war as long as possible. Both sides were untrustful of each other, of the other. A balance was held for a while, both sides fearful of an attack from the other. There's the other again. It's just bad writing. Sitting with hands on the attack button, but content to leave it unpressed for as long as the respective enemy did the same. I'm not sure what convinced them to drop the first rounds of bombs. Most likely, some bad intel. I changed that because it was poorly written. Most likely some bad intel to an already anxious general, but maybe it was just time. Get them before they get us. They did attack, though. It was a Saturday in March. Every citizen had a growing unease with each new newspaper's daily updates. Oh, not good. Each citizen had a growing unease with each day's newspaper updates. Even with the feeling of the impending dread we all lived life normally until the first actual attack. We all knew it was possible. But those 243. We all knew it was possible. But until those 243 in market were blown to bloody chunks, it wasn't real to us. It was there that day with my mother. With my mother. More wine. As we walked by the shops, peddling their wares, I saw a girl from school who I had a deep crush on, and had a suspicion she felt the same. I'd asked Mother if I could venture to a nearby restaurant as she continued shopping. Mother, not the girl. I guess both were still shopping. The combination of Mother's intuition, a blushing boy, and a smiling girl told her the whole story. She let me go, but before I left, she gave me a large kiss on the cheek. The intent was to embarrass me, but it didn't. I hurried over and pulled a seat up next to the young lady. I remember searching for the perfect words. They started slow, but soon fell out of my mouth with ease. The server brought the glass of water and a menu. I thanked him before I returned to my conversation. We had tucked lightly in a corner with walls extending past us and limiting our view. We were past the shallow words. It was time for action. I was going to make her my girlfriend, but a simple question would not do. A grand gesture was in order. I took my napkin and scribbled a silly note, a relic from my childhood. It read, "Will you be my girlfriend? Yes, no, circle one." And was dotted with hearts and smileys. The gimmick had an immature quality, but the question was of grave seriousness. She asked to see the note. Its contents not a secret, and presumably eager to answer. More wine. The sirens went off simultaneously with a bright light, roaring sounds of blistering heat. The force threw me into my beloved and us into a brick wall. It felt as if every bone in my body broke and every organ ruptured. The pain was immediate and intense. I had entered hell and I was stuck here. Then quickly everything was dark. I was blinded by the explosion of light, and if only temporary. The sharp pain striking the wall was giving way to a dull thud in my arm. My sight returned gradually, and I inspected the new pain. The cup of water was now embedded in my arm. My first thought was, I'm alone, sitting with my broken glass from the song. I rose looking for the girl who had moments before been excited to be my girlfriend. She'd not survived. I remember the letter wrinkled in my hand. She had been so happy a few seconds ago, and she was smiling as I pulled away. I studied her for a long time before turning to inspect the rest of the carnage. Roasted flesh and bloody messes were the world now. I tried to stand, and my legs were feeble. I stumbled and dropped my hand for balance. Quickly I gained my composure and felt a surge in my body. I knew I had to find another to get away. Another strike may happen any time. I ran through the wreckage of the once familiar place. I tried to scream my mother's name. Deep cut only came out. That's not it. The only thing that came out, no. It was caught deep, and accompanied by a thick, mucousy saliva. I ran to the shop I knew she was going to be at, and I saw her. She laid bent unnaturally in half. I didn't mean to say it like that. She laid bent unnaturally in half. Before I even arrived, I knew she had not made it. She was so much closer to the blast than me. I looked at the woman who gave me life. She was missing a leg now. I grabbed her by her shoulder and pulled her down gently to the road. The damage was much worse than a blown-off leg. I was able to see her intestines, though, through a gaping hole in her stomach. Yeah, I have no hair. I looked at her face. Miraculously, it remained untouched and still beautiful. I tried to decide what to do with her, but the decision was made for me. The siren started to howl and I had to leave her, but gaze a little longer. "I love you always" filled my eyes. Another survivor, who had more wits about her, screamed, "Boy, to me, take shelter!" I ran to the shop she was screaming from. It was a new building in a classic district, and most had seen it as an eyesore. Its still reinforced structure out of the place in our quaint village market. As I huddled in the basement, I was thankful for the outsider in this place here. I looked around the room with a few survivors who had managed this temporary sanctuary. The woman who shouted for him, a small child, the woman who'd shouted for me, a small child hanging off her dress, an elderly man with a nasty gash across his forehead, and another boy just older than me. He interested me the most. A few months earlier, and we'd been classmates. But he was older. He also wore a uniform. It was crisp and clean, clear. He had just gotten it. Probably just graduated from basic training and home to show off his new rank before leaving to die for many people he'd never met. Maybe there was just one he was fighting for. The rest of us just being lucky benefactors. I remember the soldier standing next to me as the explosions drowned out the warning sirens. I was terrified that the building would collapse and we'd end up like my poor mother. I turned to the soldier, and the fear in his eyes scared me more somehow. He noticed my look and hardened his. He noticed my look and hardened his own. I like that. I'm going to change that right now. And harden his own. Whew. There's a W. Own. When the sirens died down again, he whispered, "I have to report to my unit." I remember the soldier turned and walked away. He looked powerful as he walked away. I'd seen the terror in his eyes, and I saw him swallow that fear. He took his horror and transformed it into bravery. I was in awe, and I knew then I would join him on the battlefield. The sirens end, and we make our routine trip back to the classroom from the bomb shelter. Each interruption of the class was just reaffirmation of the determination to serve my country in our fight. We were the good guys, after all. More wine. Later. Today's the first day back in the town. I've said goodbye to everyone I love, knowing it is likely the last time I'll see them. Father said for the 1,000th time, "I was hoping you may change your mind." I haven't. If anything, the positive looks while walking around in my new crisp uniform from the citizens convinced me I'm doing the right thing. They gaze on me with wonder and appreciation, something I've never really felt. As I reach the train station, an elderly man tells me I'm a hero and shakes my hand. Once inside, the line parts so I can go to the front. Everyone smiles on with an awestruck look in their eyes. The brass buttons on my coat shine bright as I climb the steps to enter the carriage. If this is to be my final train ride, you couldn't ask for more. The train started and I gaze out the window to my adoring fans. I remember the feeling coming over me when the soldier turned and walked away. It was the same feeling I have now as the people outside smiling as I pull away, riding on the metro. Later. Today, I visit my son's grave. I last saw him riding on the metro. He never made it back. He took the Paris train, emerged in London rain. The train was bombed when my boy went to fight the war. He never got off the train to fight for his country. Now as I look at the cross the army bought and placed on the ground on his behalf, the years have passed and still the pain of his loss. The years have passed and still I feel the pain of his loss. I try not to think of the end of that train ride, the tragedy of it all. I try to remember him sitting tall while riding on the metro. And you know what, guys? That's it. That is this is a short one. Yeah, we did it. It's 16 minutes. I think this is a great way to test to see if the microphones all work and everything. I just gotta do a little bit, and this should be up in I don't know, fucking 30 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed. We're doing some other stuff now. We're doing a crash commercial once a month. We're doing podcasts twice a month. Twice. Kind of a gun. That's a European. Wait, upside down. Twice. Look at his fingers. Finger looks real bad on camera, doesn't it? Anyway, so we're doing grass commercials. It should be the first weekend of the month. Podcast on the second and fourth weekends. I guess that's not going to work out because some have 5 weekends. It doesn't matter. So it's going to be crash commercials, podcast, Claw Can't Sing, podcast. Might add some more, switch it up, throw out some podcasts. And we'll keep doing this. It should still go out to the Podbean. So it should still be on Google and stuff. I have to split the audio out, and we'll see how it sounds. But I'm looking at the bars here, and they look okay. I was reading, so I don't know what I look like on the camera. It's the front-facing camera. I'm not so sure. I used to want to be a video editor, and now I know I don't want to be a video editor. This light is really showing. And they're kind of there. You just can't really see them there. They're super blonde. I have alopecia, so you might see that hair a little bit more. It's also kind of there, but it's also translucent. And just kind of filling out the next few minutes, but I can't really. So I guess until next time, just keep writing. Thanks, everybody.